for the trip, so I went in August and it's already October. But I have been having the worst luck, especially with uploading. My camera is still broken. I spent like 2 hours last night doing this voiceover just for it to essentially be deleted. So now it is the next day and I am doing it again, and I'm so tired of having a broken camera and not being able to film anything new. So that's why I've basically been doing only voiceover videos. My camera's still broken and I obviously don't want to make a blurry video, so I've been trying my hardest to get it fixed, but either it's really freaking expensive, or like the person's not there, or I go in too late. And this one guy specifically, like, he's in Mexico right now, so I'm waiting for him to get back to me, and like I'm just ready to crash. I don't know. I'm so tired of this, dude. Like, I just want a freaking fixed camera. Like, is that so much to ask? But I've watched too much Love Live to know that it is too early to give up. We'll call it a bump in the road, trial and error, as they say. So today, I'm gonna be bedazzling, as you can see. But the main this video is going to be my advice and travel tips for traveling to Japan. And I actually was inspired to do this by a viewer of mine, JordzXP. You told me you inspired me to do this, so this is dedicated to you and anyone else who is or plans on traveling to Japan. So it's not going to be in any particular order. I just took notes of what I wanted to talk about, and then I'm going to be reading them and explaining a little bit. But the editing is not so good on this video, on the visuals, so don't mind that. And also don't mind those giant freaking sick and disgusting sweat stains on the shirt. I did not realize until I was bedazzling them. I was like, ew. But anyway, I have my little notebook here. I'm gonna be reading what I have written here. Okay, and again, no particular order. So when I went to Japan, I drove from SoCal to NorCal, and took a plane from San Francisco, I believe, with Hawaiian Airlines. There was a layover in Seattle, and then we landed somewhere in Tokyo, not the big airport, but like a smaller one. We stayed in Shinjuku in an Airbnb, and here is tip number 1. If you are going in a group, especially a bigger group, make sure if you're staying in an Airbnb that you have more than one bathroom, because that alone changes a lot. It was 5 of us total, 3 guys, 2 girls, 2 couples, and 1 single person. And this girl had purposely chose the room that has all of the storage and the only full-size mirror, and she still decided to use the downstairs mirror when everybody else needed to get ready too. So the layout was like a small room with a toilet and a small sink, and then the kitchen was right there, and then on the other side of the kitchen, it wasn't even a room, it was just a shower, some washing machines, a sink, and then a curtain around it, which if you were walking by, you would see whoever was in the shower. But that shit did not close all the way. But yes, that is a big thing. I suggest heavily that you get early start days. So I know you want to party all night long, and by all means, go to the bars, go to the clubs if that's your thing. But also make sure to get rest, because you're going to be doing a lot of walking, and I really felt like shit because there were times when they wanted to stay out and I didn't, which was pretty much every night long, and I had no choice, so I was so exhausted and I did low-key lose a lot of sleep. So I recommend that a lot. Get your rest, go to bed at a reasonable time, and wake up early so you can get your day started and make the most of every day. If you are going when it's hot, dress accordingly. Actually, that goes for any weather condition. Make sure that you check in advance what the weather conditions are like, because you need to be comfortable. Don't even worry about stunting, just dress accordingly and dress comfortably. You're gonna need good shoes. I had to buy $140 something Nikes, and honestly it was the best decision because they were so comfortable, and had I tried to wear Converse or something, I would have actually not made it. Always keep change and cash on you. I think most places do prefer cash over anything. There might even be fees, obviously, with paying with cards, so I recommend keeping cash on you at all times, and change too, because there's going to be a lot of vending machines everywhere, and you're gonna need to drink a lot of water. Definitely stay hydrated always. But do not bring your hydros, do not bring your freaking Stanleys, unless you want to be carrying that big bulky metal shit with you everywhere all the time. It is such a nuisance. Don't do it. Just buy water bottles from the vending machines. They're cold, they're cheap. It's way more convenient. Plan your itinerary ahead of time. So if there are certain things that you like for me specifically, I love Love Live and I love anime, so those were the things that I wanted to see most, was anything Love Live related. I wanted to go to all the anime shops and stuff, so my boyfriend researched and found the best ones, and those are the ones that we ended up going to. So had he not done that for me, I wouldn't have been able to have as much fun as I did and bought all the cool things that I did. So yeah, just plan ahead, whatever you like to do. Also make sure to check the days. So some of the places I wanted to go to were closed on certain days, so we had to plan our days according to those business days, hours, whatever. Translation apps are going to be your best friend. If you do not speak Japanese, that's okay. I only know basic phrases, good morning, thank you, asking where the restroom is, ordering, that kind of thing. But you don't even need to know that much. You can honestly, just, if you want to, type into the app and, they'll read it. I had to do that a couple times when I asked really specific questions. But you could also easily find, YouTube videos of common phrases you need to know, arigatou gozaimasu, kudasai, onegaishimasu, that kind of thing. It's just standard stuff. Try to find tax-free shops. They're honestly everywhere. They'll have posters and banners and signs outside of their shops that say tax-free. And when they are tax-free, so for example, there's a really big store chain, whatever, called Don Quixote, and sure exactly how that works or like the details, but I just know it does work. And obviously, if there's something that you bought that you want to use, tell them to leave them out, because if you open the bag, you're not going to get the tax return. And yeah, just let them know when you want to keep something separate. The USD to yen conversion is so good right now. Like, I believe 1,000 yen is like $6.50, and there's a lot of shit that's like under 1,000 yen. So, like, I literally got full ass meals for like $8 to $10 USD. It is like the craziest thing ever. Like, you could shop so much. I didn't really bring back any clothes though, because I don't know if it was just the places I was looking or if I just don't know prices. But it kind of seemed like the clothes there were around the same price as here, so I didn't bring anything except like one t-shirt. Don't litter behind trash cans. I've seen people online, they'll like carry little grocery bags with them in their backpacks, saying that they take it back to their hotel because they can't find trash cans. I guess it just depends on where you are. I had access to trash cans a lot, so I didn't really need to hold on to my trash like that, especially if there's like 7-Elevens everywhere, which there are. You could just easily throw your trash out there. Now for the shrines, a lot of them say not to take pictures. I don't know. I definitely saw a lot of people taking pictures. I think it might be okay as long as you don't maybe get anybody in the background or something. If you are easily overstimulated, you're definitely gonna get very overstimulated, because I definitely had my moments. Actually, I had a lot of moments. I kept getting anxious and like my heart would start pounding and I would just like need to chill, and that could have been attributed from the heat, because I went in August, which is probably the hottest time of the year. Freaking like high 80s to 100s, like it was not it. So that very much could have been it. Which brings me to my next thing. Stay hydrated. Like I said, drink so much water, and actually drink electrolytes too, because not even just for the heat, but you're gonna be walking a lot. Like, you need hydration, and salt is the best thing for that. And make sure to eat well too. Eat absolutely everything you can while you can, because hello, Japanese food is freaking bomb. But also, with all that walking, you need that energy. So I felt like I was eating a lot, but I honestly wasn't eating enough, I think, because I ended up getting sick, you know, like I almost fainted, bro. I was in an Uber taxi thing, and I literally almost fainted from heat exhaustion because I wasn't eating enough and I wasn't drinking enough water, and I really didn't realize it. So yeah, it was pretty scary, honestly. If you're shopping for anime stuff, try to get things secondhand. You could buy things new too, but with secondhand stuff, you could buy stuff really freaking cheap and good quality. Like, pretty much all the figurines, I think all of the figurines actually that I brought back were pre-owned, and some of them were still like in the box, and like they just had the original packaging and like put it back together, if you know what I mean. Like, but they were like good, they were not destroyed. I make sure to clean them always. If they're pre-owned, I always clean my figurines with a toothbrush and zote, which is Mexican soap, because you can't trust these gooners. This one, please don't give America a bad reputation. Do not, I repeat, do not take pictures of people. It's weird, and it's rude, and it's like low-key cultural appropriation, probably. Don't even ask, honestly. Like, I think it's just uncomfortable for everybody involved if you ask somebody to Just don't do it. The low-key restaurants hit. They're probably cheaper and you get really good food. And honestly, it's just the ambiance is better. It's not like super packed or anything. The bombest food that I ate were in the most low-key spots. So look out for those. I even saw a video saying that like the tourist trap kind of restaurants will use certain words that they don't actually really use. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't remember what it was. There was something about like steak where they'll use a certain word to like reel in the tourists, but the actual like locals don't use that word. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Just forget that. The rumors are true. Japanese people are very nice and very polite, but if you're expecting them to be like us in the sense of personal space, you're not gonna get that. Especially not in no damn train stations. Like, people bump into you in the streets and stations, and like they won't even glance at you. It's just how it is in an overpopulated. I don't know if it's overpopulated actually. I'm just saying shit. But it's definitely very crowded, so that just happens, and I don't like that. I don't like being super close to strangers. Touristy spots are cool, but low-key spots are also cool. I personally didn't get to see a lot of very low-key spots. Pretty much a lot of what I did was very touristy, and it was not my decision. I'm not the one who basically planned the whole trip. I had days and times where I got to do what I wanted to do, but ultimately the big things that we did were touristy things that I did not plan. So try to do a little bit of both so that you really get that whole experience. I don't know. This is a big one, probably the biggest one besides hydration and good shoes and stuff. Do not overpack. Don't overpack. Don't over accessorize. You don't need a stunt. You can't stunt on the Japanese. You really can't. Take a few outfits, rewash them, and rewear them. So what I did is we spent 5 days in Tokyo and 5 days in Osaka, and both the Airbnbs that I stayed in had a washer and a dryer. So what I did was I took 5 bottoms and like 7 tops, only because my tops were all like crops and tanks, so like they fold small, like it doesn't take up a lot of space, so I brought more. But you really only need 5 each. Say you were staying 10 days, like you really only need 5 outfits, then you can wash them and then rewear them for the next 5 days. Like, it's a really good way to conserve luggage space. Which brings me to my next staple tip. Buy compression bags. I bought compression bags for Amazon for pretty cheap. They fit a lot. It's not like battery powered or chargeable or anything. It literally is a bag that has this like plug thing on it, and then you get a pump, just a regular manual air pump. Like, it's almost like a tire pump for like a bike or something, or a ball. And you just like basically pump it and it sucks all the air out. And no, obviously it doesn't change the weight, but it will help you conserve so much space. I promise you, especially if you plan on bringing a lot of clothes back, this will be very, very useful for you. Don't worry too much if you've forgotten anything at home. Like, anything that you need that you left, you could buy practically anywhere. Like toothbrush, toothpaste, socks, like anything, bro. Anything, you'll find it, and it won't be very expensive. So don't even worry about that, honestly. Obviously worry if you've forgotten your like legal documentation stuff, but that's a whole different story. And actually, that's another thing. there's bags, like little bags that we got to put our like cards and stuff like that for the airport, so they cannot be scanned. Those are a really good thing to have. I don't know how much it was. I'm assuming it wasn't that expensive. It was like a pack of 4. But yeah, you don't want your information being stolen or nothing. If you plan on bringing a lot of souvenirs back home, I highly recommend buying a second suitcase. We were actually gonna do that. I was gonna buy a second check bag there, like only check one in on the way there, and then while we were there buy a second one, so then check in a second one. But turns out I actually had enough space in my carry-on because of the compression bags actually, and in like my personal bag and my check bag, so I didn't need to buy a second one, even though I brought like a decent amount, I suppose, back. But yeah, if you plan on bringing a lot, definitely do that. If you can condense your souvenirs, you definitely should. So for example, my figurines that were still in boxes, I would take the figurine out and just collapse the box, and I also cushioned them, like anything fragile. I had a lot of CDs, I had a lot of figurines, so I would either use like some of my clothes, or I brought like a hair towel and I just wrapped them in that to protect them during the journey back home, and luckily nothing was damaged, so I think that honestly really helped. Again, the overstimulating thing, there's a lot of lights and noises and just a lot going on all the time, so be wary of that if you are sensitive to that kind of thing, because I know for sure that I am, and at times I did just have to kind of step away and just kind of hide and like just kind of have a little break. I don't know, I was gonna say a specific word, but I don't know. There are gonna be times where not everybody wants to do the same thing. Obviously, I feel like that's kind of a given in a group, and nobody should have to do what everybody else wants to do all the time. So make sure that you plan things separate from your group too, even if you have to do it alone. Like, as long as you have your translation app, you have like a portable charger, and you can make your way around the train stations. When actually, that wasn't something I wrote down, but that's a really big thing too. I think you can use maps, Google Maps, to help you, excuse me, to help guide you through train stations, like what routes to take, what trains to take. It does get a little confusing, and you're definitely gonna take the wrong train a few times. Like, it's a given. It's inevitable, but for the most part, you'll get the hang of it. There was something else I was gonna say about that too. You will more than likely experience train delays due to unfortunate suicides, unfortunate deaths. It happened like 2 or 3 times while I was there. I guess it's just a very common thing, so if that happens, don't be too surprised, but it is very sad and very unfortunate. If it's hot, or even if you just get hot from walking a lot, I recommend bringing a hand fan, or they do sell little electric fans. I think they're battery powered or rechargeable or something, said, high 80s, low hundreds. Like, it was insanely hot. For the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train, bring food, especially if it's a long ride. Bring like a snack. At the stations where they have the Shinkansen, they have like little convenience stores that have like pre-made meals, and those are honestly so clutch, and they're pretty yummy. Bring entertainment that you're able to carry on you, and reserve seating in the Shinkansen. It'll make things a lot easier, so that way you don't get freaking sent to another car. And if you are motion sick like I am, definitely take Dramamine, because I was getting real dizzy. And be very wary of train traveling fare. Shinkansen, depending on where you're going. I think, like, I took the Shinkansen, I believe, twice, and it was 100, like, round trip. So I paid $200 for the Shinkansen alone, and then for regular train fare, like, I spent a good amount too. You're gonna be using the train to get everywhere, basically, so, yeah, definitely have, like, a few $100 just for that. So, after the 5 days in Tokyo was up, I spent 5 days in Osaka, and yes, Japan is pretty clean. Definitely cleaner than here, but it is not exempt of dirty streets. Osaka, at least in the place that I stayed, was a little bit ghetto and a little bit dirty. There's like cigarette butts all over the floor, like trash on the sides of the street, and like I think Osaka is like where I saw homeless people. Like probably like two, honestly, in my entire trip. I only saw like 2 homeless people, and they were there. But yeah, just make sure to throw your trash away, because you don't need to be adding all that. At least it's not LA. I don't wear sunscreen, but if you want to wear sunscreen, then you should. I usually use coconut oil, but I didn't really do that. I didn't really do any of that extra shit that I do at home. Like, I wasn't applying aloe like I do every day, and I wasn't really using the coconut oil I brought either. But I would advise maybe some bug repellent. I don't like chemicals, so they have like eucalyptus bracelets, or you can bathe with eucalyptus soap. But you're gonna get bug bites. Like, I think I left with like 9 different bug bites, and they weren't just like little ones. Like, they were fat, juicy ass bug bites, and they stayed until even a little bit after I was back home, and they were so incredibly itchy. And like, I obviously was wearing shorts and like crop tops, and like they just looked ugly. For the flights, make sure to bring entertainment, of course, things that you can carry. I took my Switch, and I also took my 3DS, and then I had my phone too, of course. But if you're flying a very long flight, which you more than likely are, mine was like 10 hours both ways. I definitely slept for most of those because of the time change. Like, we were basically gonna miss an entire night of sleep if we didn't sleep on the plane. So yes, bring entertainment, but also get your rest too. Get good flights, because we flew Hawaiian Airlines the way there. It was great, provided meals, even gave us dessert. They had free Wi-Fi, the little TVs. Like, it was really nice. The seats were decently comfortable. They had little blankets, little pillows. But on the way back, we took a cheaper airline, which is Zip Airlines, and they actually delayed our flight by 6 hours. We were supposed to leave at 4 p.m. and we left at 10 p.m. because the plane that we were supposed to be on got fucking struck by lightning, bro. Like, I this shit up. So, and then eventually, like, on the flight, they didn't have food. Like, there's no in-flight meals, there's no blankets, there's no TV, there's literally none of that. The only good thing is that they had Wi-Fi. But if you wanted to eat, even if you just wanted water, you have to, like, scan a code, sign up kind of thing, and use their Wi-Fi and, like, order off their menu. But there were so many people ordering that they, like, closed it for a bit, so you couldn't order anything. You had to wait, like, I think I had to wait, like, half an hour. And I was starving because I didn't get to eat beforehand. But, yeah, if you can afford to get a nice flight, definitely get a nicer flight, especially for that long. It's just ultimately a better experience because I was pissed, but I was so hungry and I was just, it was not it. And with your flights, always, always, always check flight details on the luggage. So most airlines do not have like a weight limit for carry-ons, but the one Zip Airlines on the way back is so cheap that they do have a weight limit on carry-ons, and I swear I told my boyfriend like 50 million times before the trip, please check the details and tell me if, and I should have done it myself, I really should. I don't know why I didn't, but I trusted him. He said that there wouldn't be a weight limit, like it was fine. And guess what? There mother freaking was. And we literally were on the airport floor, like freaking rummaging through our stuff, trying to make things fit, like move things to different bags. We literally thought we were gonna have to throw some stuff away. Like, we were so stressed trying to make these things fit, and luckily this airport was so quiet and empty that there was nobody in line. Like, it was literally just us and the flight attendant, or like the airport lady was like just watching us and like, oh, this is the wait that you have to do, like blah blah blah. But eventually she saw us struggling so much that she was like, you know what, you're good, like it's fine. And we're like, oh shit. But had the flight not been delayed, we probably would have missed it, because this, like, always check the details, bro. Always check. Something that you might not know about Japan is the insane amount of stairs. It is stairs, the Lord, bro. Like, there is stairs on stairs on stairs. You're gonna have an ass. If you didn't have an ass after you leave Japan, you will. Always be courteous and be respectful. Always say thank you, bow, please, kudasai, onegai shimasu, arigatou gozaimasu. Bow, like, it feels kind of silly because it's not something you're used to, but honestly, for me, I feel like it felt very natural. Like, I feel like bowing should just be a thing. I don't know if it's like a little blasphemy or whatever the fuck, but I feel like it's just such a natural thing to show your respect by bowing. But don't be loud. They freaking hate Americans for that. They think we're loud and disrespectful. I feel like if you're from a country outside of the US, or like besides the US, I feel like that's how they view us, as loud and freaking annoying and disrespectful. So please do our people some good and don't give us a bad rep. Always be timely if you can cut things out of your regular routine. Like for me, I take hella long showers. I like do the most, like the moisturizing and doing all that. But even though I'm hella OCD, I did cut back on some things just for the sake of being timely and making the most of my time. So if there's like sort of unnecessary things in your daily routine that you do, by all means, don't do it. Like, even if it's something you're used to and something that you feel like you need toilets some places, but they mostly use bidets, and honestly, people say that they're like really sanitary, and I guess I understand where they're coming from, but low-key, I feel like they're kind of not. I feel like they're kind of the opposite, because if I understand correctly about how bidets work, the water that sprays your ass is like the leftover flushing water, if that makes sense. And to me, that just kind of sounds disgusting, because it's touching the inside of the bowl, and then it goes into your butt. Like, I don't know. I don't think I fuck with that. So I did use the bidet sometimes, only at the Airbnb. Hell to the no, would I ever use some fucking public restroom butt squirter? Like, I'm not about that. So I did sometimes use the one in the Airbnb, but only because I knew I was gonna shower, you know. Also, their toilet paper fucking sucks, dude. It's like the thinnest, cheapest toilet paper. It is not that freaking 12 ply that we have here. I don't know why. But, oh, something that I do in my daily life forever and always, I use butt wipes. So if you don't like bidets and you don't like their toilet paper, I always carry butt wipes on me, like literally always in my bag. I always have a bag on me, and I always have butt wipes. So I just bought some there, and I didn't like them, honestly. I think the ones here in the States are way better, but you can always use those if you want to be clean but don't want to use their bidets and stuff. Honestly, sorry, my voice keeps cracking. I think that's low-key all of the stuff I have written down. My first take of this video was way longer, so I thought this one was gonna be long too, but I guess maybe I didn't ramble as much as I did the first time. Oh wait, I forgot one. 7-Elevens and Family Marts are going to be super convenient for you if you do want to have those early morning starts like I did. And by early morning, I mean like waking up at like 8 or 9 a.m. That's early for me. But we didn't want to spend a bunch of time getting ready and then going to eat breakfast and then doing whatever. So what we did is, as soon as we woke up, we would change, walk to the nearest 7-Eleven or Family Mart, and actually in Shinjuku, I was lucky enough that the Airbnb I stayed at had this, I don't know if it was like more family owned or if it was another chain, but it seemed like a more like local-ish thing called Santoku, and they had really, really, really yummy like pre-made stuff like onigiri. They had good sandwiches too, but Family Mart and 7-Eleven, we practically lived off of their like spam egg rice things and the egg sandwiches, and like it's really good food and it's really fresh. Like I saw them hoes restocking that shit like every time I was in there. Like it is not like our 7-Elevens where that shit will be in there for like 2 weeks. Like they were constantly putting in new stuff, and that's something I heavily respect, is like the freshness and like the convenience and just and especially for how cheap it is, bro. Like dude, I think that's definitely like a core thing for people that travel to Japan, is 7-Elevens are literally the best thing ever. They have like so much ice cream, and if you love ice cream like I do, then you have to try every ice cream. Like that's what I did. I tried to, at least. I would buy a different ice cream once slice them in half, and then put ice cream in the middle. And there was like chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, and matcha. And of course, I got the matcha one because I had to try it. But yeah, that concludes all of the tips and advice that I have. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this was helpful to any of you that might be planning a trip to Japan. I'm so sorry if my recent videos haven't been the most entertaining. Like I said, it's been tricky uploading, but I am trying my best. If you want to see more of me, you definitely don't have to, but if you want to, I will put my TikTok in the description. I post there more frequently, just in case you want to see anything non-ASMR by me. I will put that in. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you